This is the story of when my ex-girlfriend and I tricked an internet creep into snorting baking soda. This is my first post in this group. I really hope you agree that this is professional revenge material and that you will enjoy it. It is a long ride, but I hope you will find it worth the read. And apologies in advance for my grammar as English is not my primary language. First off, the backstory. This took place in the early days of the internet around the autumn of 1999 when hypertext markup language coded chats became very popular. For you young ones, these spaces would be considered a pinnacle of free online speech today, as they were 100% unmoderated and they did not log any personal data or require that you registered an account. It was extremely basic to use as you just had to write what your session screen name was and that was it. So anyone who wanted to be a creep, abusive, or toxic could do this without any real-life consequence, which led to a lot of unwanted contacts. Their modus operandi was basically to use the whisper function, also known as old-school direct message, where you still wrote in the group chat but only the recipient could see it. Especially girls and young women were targeted, and although these chats did not support any images, it was pretty common to exchange electronic mail addresses to keep in touch. So behold, the low-pixel dick picture was received. This meant that we users needed to figure out ways to self-moderate the chats. The most common way to protect ourselves was to create online communities on a separate website, often using the name of the particular chat room where you hung out. Ours was named the Attic, for example. As this was before the use of registration, a membership would be granted if you were active and endorsed by another member. We had member lists containing our nicknames, a bulletin where we warned about known creeps, lists on how to behave early etiquette, and other ways to support each other. An example of how we could make a creep leave the chat was to coordinate in the chat and send hundreds of whisper messages using Ctrl+V, flooding their screen with a wall of repetitive text that only they could see. 95% of the creeps gave up as their connection would suffer. Our attic was known as the safest place among these chat rooms. Some creeps, though, were a bit more slippery and still managed to trick victims into sharing personal information. So it was a constant battle to come up with new, different, and often very creative and funny ways to combat these creeps. Now, let me present the actors in the story. I'm male, 20, met my then girlfriend female, 21, through a physical meetup that was organized by this specific community. We would meet up once or twice per year, traveling from all over the country, just to meet up and then hang around for a weekend, partying or doing fun stuff at amusement parks or other places. My girlfriend was one of the first members in this community and was a well-known user in the chat for being really tough and creative when dealing with creeps. A standing joke was that she was more evil than the devil. Now for the professional revenge part. The creep in question, let us call him Farmer Bob, was one of the creeps who was a bit slippery. He managed to become a member without any of us suspecting a thing. His creepiness was very low-key, and only after some of the younger members started to report getting electronic mails and unwanted messages, my girlfriend and I decided to act. We started out by her pretending to be a naive and new user, and we managed to get him interested. After some back and forth, we managed to get some basic information about him and even some personal information. For example, we learned that he was living in the rural areas of the country, and he claimed to be wealthy as he owned a cattle farm, hence Farmer Bob. We soon realized that he was extremely stupid, seeming to be lacking in both social skills and basic education. He bragged about always wearing wooden shoes and how the females loved to be fucked by him while wearing them. After some more back and forth, my girlfriend got bored and decided to just forget it. Let us just go all in. So my girlfriend pretended to be interested in maybe hooking up, but only if he could offer some cocaine, as it always made her super horny. To our surprise, he took the bait and said that he could not afford it, despite bragging about being a wealthy cattle farmer just an hour earlier. He also slipped by telling her that his parents would be out of town the coming weekend. The dude literally forgot that he had claimed to be the owner of the bloody farm. Anyway, my girlfriend felt that she wanted to just exaggerate the crap out of him and wrote something like, "But Farmer Bob, did you not know that if you mix 3 parts baking soda with 1 part vanilla sugar, then you would get a rush equal to a cocaine rush, but with a nice aftertaste? It is also way cheaper." We thought this was so over the top that the game would be up and that he would finally realize that my girlfriend was just trolling by now. Instead, he told us that he had forgotten about that do-it-yourself cocaine trick and thanked my girlfriend for reminding him about it. My girlfriend convinced him that he had to be sure to make a batch before she booked a train ticket, and he had to make sure it was of good quality. He promised her that he would make a batch right away and try it out later that evening, and we logged out. Fast forward a couple of days. Believing him to have realized that my girlfriend had been trolling him, we got an electronic mail written in all capital letters. It was something like, "You made my nose bleed, you motherfucking bitch. I had to visit a clinic because of you," etc. He was so furious and accused her of tricking him. No shit, Sherlock. But wait, my fellow Redditors. This was not even the best part. We not only managed to somehow convince him that he must have gotten the mix wrong, we made an outlandish claim that she used this do-it-yourself nose candy all the time in her side gig, which was to produce and star in German amateur spanking pornos that she sold to tourists from all over Europe. To prove this, we recorded an extremely stupid and blatantly obvious fake trailer for our big hit, Spankin' Mean. My girlfriend's younger brother asked for him and his friend to star in it. So the scene is her bed, her brother pretending to be a random dude sitting there with his friend laying on his stomach over his lap, both fully dressed and pretending to be my girlfriend as he had long curly hair. Using a wooden spatula, he simulated spanking him while I stood behind the camera and clapped wet hands to create a sloppy spanking sound. To top it off, my girlfriend and I shouted German-sounding nonsense, and they mimicked their mouths. The quality of the video was horrendous, but the low resolution and frame rate actually created a believable trailer. It was still extremely silly and over the top and should have been apparently fake to everyone, not to Farmer Bob, though. He was totally convinced this was the genuine thing and begged us to sell him some films. We agreed to do so, but only if he tried the homemade cocaine again. We never heard from him again after that. I am guessing he finally realized it was all fake. He might have kept creeping in the chat room, but using another name. We never got another report with his electronic mail, though, and yes, this is a true story. The trailer was unfortunately on an external hard drive that broke 7 years ago. I hope to be able to extract it someday, but until then, you have my word of honor that this is a true story.